Yesterday, Kensington Palace quietly confirmed that the Prince and Princess of Wales will be carrying out a string of official engagements in Scotland next week. On the surface, it sounded routine, just another line in the court circular. But then that fleeting thought crept in. Wait, Scotland? In the dead of winter? As a day trip? That's not exactly their usual move. And then People magazine did what Kensington Palace hoped no one would do. They pointed out the painfully obvious and frankly hilarious significance of William and Kate's sudden Scottish itinerary. Because once you connect the dots, the picture becomes embarrassingly clear. We've known for over a week that King Charles would be in Scotland. That's his tradition now. After Christmas, Charles and Camilla retreat north. Birkhall, Castle of May, rinse, repeat. That part makes sense. What didn't make sense was William and Kate suddenly deciding that they too needed to be very, very busy, far away, at the exact same time. And then it clicks. Oh no. Harry's coming to town. Because this is not a coincidence. It's a pattern, one they've been running for years. Any time Prince Harry sets foot in the UK, suddenly the Prince of Wales discovers a deep, urgent need to be seen doing something. Anything. Preferably last minute. Preferably photographed. Preferably somewhere Harry is not. Last September proved it. Harry was in England for 4 days, and William scrambled together a flimsy schedule of appearances, events so rushed and half-hearted they looked like a bad improv exercise. The goal wasn't service, it wasn't duty, it was optics. Look busy, look important, look unavailable. The problem? It didn't work. Harry dominated the headlines. Wall-to-wall coverage. Meanwhile, William's appearances barely registered, and almost immediately after the press started whispering, "Is William cracking? Is he under pressure? Is something wrong? Good times." So here we are again. Harry's coming back, and right on cue. Out comes the blonde wiglet. Out comes the scooter. Off to Scotland they go. The desperation is almost impressive, honestly. This nonsense trip isn't fooling anyone. Everyone knows why they're doing this. They're running, not toward duty, but away from comparison, away from relevance, away from a brother whose presence alone seems to send Kensington Palace into a tailspin. And let's be honest, there's something uniquely grim about being forced to pretend to enjoy your spouse's company for the cameras, sharing stiff laughs and awkward smiles, all because you're terrified of someone else stealing the spotlight. What a life, eh? At this point, it would be far less embarrassing to simply stand on business and admit the truth. We don't want to see him. Instead, they burn taxpayer money staging a show that convinces no one and invites ridicule. When I saw the headlines, my first real thought wasn't about William or Kate at all. It was this: will the cousins ever actually meet? Harry and Meghan both drew the short straw when it came to siblings, and their children, Archie and Lilibet, will feel the ripple effects of that estrangement whether they asked for it or not. Watching it unfold in real time is sad, honestly. It makes you wish someone could shake all these adults and say, "Think about your kids for once." But instead, here we go again. Scotland. Avoidance. Silence. Harry doesn't get to see his nephews and niece. And that loss? It's not Harry's. it's theirs. The media loves to spin the cousins growing up together storyline, but let's be honest about how that actually works. Children don't schedule play dates, parents do. And right now, the Wales parents call every single shot. Yes, there's a wider extended family. Yes, there are cousins who walk to church together and appear in carefully curated photos. But notice something: coverage of close cousins never includes Archie and Lilibet. Not by accident, by design. When William and Kate's children are adults, and when Archie and Lilibet are adults, they may decide on their own to know each other. That choice will be theirs. But right now, the gate is locked, and let's not pretend this is neutral. Harry has already confirmed he wasn't close to William or Kate long before things went public. So the idea that their children were ever going to be close is fantasy. Especially when Kate herself was alleged to be one of the royals who expressed concerns about Archie's skin colour. Which brings us to the most uncomfortable truth of all. I have never understood the pressure placed on victims of racial discrimination, and their children, to move on and reconnect with the families of their abusers simply because they share DNA. It's disingenuous, it's callous, and it's cruel. Racism isn't a misunderstanding. It's not a disagreement. It's a trauma, a dehumanization, a deliberate stripping away of dignity. And asking the victims of that abuse to re-enter those spaces, to offer access to their children, is not healing. It's a continuation of harm. It sends a chilling message. Your pain is less important than our comfort. Worse still, it expects children to bond with other children whose worldview is shaped by the very adults who caused that harm. Adults who stayed silent. Adults who participated. Adults who watched and did nothing. All because they're cousins. That argument isn't love. It's entitlement. For a long time, I thought this frantic counter-programming came straight from Kensington Palace. But now, I think the original idea came from newspaper editors, a mutually beneficial arrangement. William gets to look busy, and the press gets a distraction whenever Harry threatens to dominate the cycle. The real question is whether this strategy will hold, because Harry is coming back again for the one-year Invictus Games event in July. Will William suddenly discover another urgent reason to be out of town? Another forced smile tour? Another look at me, I'm working sprint? Or will the cracks finally become impossible to hide? For now, the script remains the same. Harry arrives. William flees. Kate smiles on cue. Scotland becomes a shield, and the world watches a family so committed to appearances that they sacrifice authenticity, accountability, and connection at every turn. It's not regal, it's not dignified, and it's becoming impossible to ignore, because nothing screams insecurity louder than running away, every single time. Well, squaddies, my absolute take in a nutshell is that it's hilarious that even People magazine acknowledges that this day trip to Scotland is an obvious way to avoid Harry. However, I doubt that they will be able to compete in the battle of headlines with Harry. The most they can hope for is to make sure all three events get released slowly so they can pretend that they are working away in Scotland, unbothered by it all. Well, Harry will get all of the coverage, so William and Kate are wasting their time if they think they will get any coverage. There may be a picture here and there of them from their most loyal press bedmates. Let the incandescent tantrums begin.